Is the T100 force feedback a good deal, or is it overshadowed by its bigger brothers? Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start with the good. I bought the T100 for 130 euros, which is really good when you compare it to the T300 and others. You get a decent sized steering wheel with flappy paddle shifters and a 2-pedal set, gas and brake. The thing that makes it stand out compared to other cheaper wheels is the force feedback. So, how does it perform? I used the wheel on 3 different games and 2 different platforms: Project Cars and Drive Club on the PS4 and Euro Truck Simulator 2 on the PC. Let's start with Project Cars. Holy shit, this thing is amazing. It takes some tweaking in the force feedback settings in-game, but I found a pretty good video which I will link now on screen and also in the description. When you set things right and do your first lap, it may feel weird, but once you get the hang of it, you'll never want to use a controller again. Every car handles different and the wheel pulls more or less accordingly. Even a little bump in the road can give a strong pull on the wheel, which can result in spinning you out if you don't have control. I would recommend starting with Formula Rookie. I found it the best class to learn the force feedback and everything coming with it. After a good number of hours with the wheel, I even broke my record on a track that I set with the controller without even breaking a sweat. The ultimate challenge is going on a heavy track like the Nürburgring, Azura Coast or California Highway with a beast of a car like a Zonda, Mercedes SLS or a McLaren C12. If you can complete a clean run, then you've got the hang of it. Let's go to Drive Club. The wheel also works perfect, but because the game is more arcade than simulator, I wouldn't recommend the wheel to race with. The force feedback is present, although not as strong or realistic like in Project Cars. The steering is just too twitchy and doesn't feel right. That's just my opinion, of course, which doesn't mean it's bad. And there is still a lot of fun to be had. Drifting. Motherfucking epic and long drifts. In this shot I've included a wheel and a pedal cam, so you can see how intense the steering in a drift is. Just pick a good drift car like a BMW, a track with a lot of corners and have fun. That's all to it in Drive Club with the wheel, drift and have fun. But for me, using it to race, that's a no-no. Now let's talk about the bad. I've tried to use the wheel in Euro Truck Simulator 2 and it doesn't work that well. In Euro Truck Simulator it uses a 900 degrees steering circle in-game, so when you use a 270 degrees wheel, it just doesn't work. I kinda found a way to tweak the settings so it gets drivable, but I wouldn't recommend it. It just doesn't work that good, and if you steer too much or too crazy, you'll crash. Now the ugly part. It broke. Yes, it broke a month after purchase. One of the force feedback engines overheated after a total playtime of maybe 15 to 20 hours. Okay, when it broke I was racing a pretty technical track with a lot of quick turns for about an hour. But still, when you pay 130 euros for something, you expect quality. Luckily the store I bought it at was very friendly and I just received a replacement which works fine again. So when you play with the T100 for long periods at a time, feel behind the wheel on the top of the base every 10-15 minutes. It can feel warm, which is completely normal, but when it's getting really hot, stop playing, just unplug it and let it cool down for like 10-15 minutes. So, conclusion time. For the price, it's a really good wheel. It's compatible with a lot of games and works brilliant with Project Cars on PS4. But overheating problems break the gaming experience, and for really hardcore simulator games like Euro Truck Simulator, I would recommend a more expensive upgrade. If you love racing and you want to take your experience to the next level without burning a hole in your wallet, this is a must buy.